This program is a Creative Magic Network and Maura Sweeney collaboration.
Welcome to the Maura Sweeney podcast. Maura is an international speaker, Huffington Post contributor, and the trademarked ambassador of happiness. In 10 minutes or less, Maura weaves clever anecdotes, insightful questions, and personal stories to challenge your mindsets and enable you to live happier from the inside out. Here's Maura with today's podcast for you.
What are you afraid of? If you're on a path to living happy from the inside out, today's podcast will help put you on the path. What are you afraid of? Have you ever asked yourself the question? Or has someone else ever asked you the question, what are you afraid of? And you thought to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm being called out. I'm afraid and I didn't even realize that I was afraid. Oftentimes we react out of fear in some of the most incredible and dissonant ways from our natural state of internal peace that we never even question ourselves or we never notice it. But it's so important when we are on a path to living happy from the inside out that we're willing to look at fear and some of the sources of our fear and then consider how we can step out of our fear and return back to love. Do you know, many people have determined that ultimately there's only two emotions we can operate out of. The first being love. Let's say that that's our natural birthright. It's our natural identity where we live in a place of unity, harmony, where there is no dissonance within us, there is no disagreement, but we're pretty much at peace. And the opposite feeling is fear. Fear being that place where we question what's around us. We are creating closet doors and hidden places within our mind and our hearts where we don't want to deal with certain issues because we don't want to look at them. I want to give you a couple of words connected with love and then a couple of words connected with fear. They're both sides of the emotional spectrum, and see the many ways that love can be expressed, but also the way fear can be expressed. When we think about love, these would be some of the emotions that would come out of love. They would be things like generosity, kindness, interest in other people and ourselves and life in general. When we think about love, some of those emotions that emote would be peace and happiness, thoughtfulness, and finally, at the high end, things like levity and fun. When we're in a place of love, we're actually in a place that's constantly extending life, and it's always adding life and adding energy to us. But let's take a look at what fear does to us, and you'll also understand why it's a thief when it comes to our pursuit of our pursuit of happiness. Fear would involve emotions like anger, abuse, anxiety, bullying, attack, impatience. It could go all the way to committing murder when we're really, really in a state of fear. When you think about all the emotions connected with fear, what you think about and what you literally feel is an emotion that steals one's life away. It steals the sense of expansion, and what it does is it puts us in this protective mode. We're protecting ourselves from our own thought life, from the thoughts and the behaviors of other people. We're protecting ourselves from exposure and literally putting ourselves in a place that is a drain to energy and a drain to our lives. You know, when I think also about love versus fear and what it is that we're afraid of, I'm reminded of the words of Jesus. And I think 2,000 years later, those words are so meaningful. This is what he said: the whole world lies in darkness. The whole world, meaning the whole cosmos, all of society, all of human relationships, Everything we know in the construct of society is lying in darkness. Now, darkness to me would be that place of fear. It's that very thing that covers over the life that we truly are within and the life we all desire to live with peace and happiness from the inside out. But I also have wondered on occasion, assuming that Jesus spoke English, that when he used the words, the whole world lies in darkness, that he wasn't also referring to the reason why we're all in darkness. And that's because there's a lot of lying going on, meaning a lack of truth. If you want to think about darkness versus light, or fear versus love, you would also be able to connect it with the idea that truth dwells in a place of light. You know, when truth is allowed to come out, there's no place to hide. The sun is bright. All the information is out. Everything is given an opportunity to be put on display. There's no hidden motive. Everything is in evidence. And yet, much of our society and much of our personal lives live completely the opposite existence, where we hold on to certain truths and belief systems that we've been told or we want to believe in, or stories we've shared with ourselves and told ourselves repeatedly. And yet they work against us because something within our souls knows it's not the complete truth. It's not all that we need to know. It's not all that we need to expose ourselves to. And yet when we're willing to go to those places, maybe we feel triggered by something that someone has said to us or a topic they're bringing up. And yet if we were to stand back and say, you know what? I wonder if I'm big enough to allow truth to be all that I am. Because in that place of truth and in that place of light, I can find my ultimate peace, and I can find my rest, and I could find my true happiness. Not everyone's willing to go to those places, and it's not an easy place to go, especially when we've worked so hard and diligently to protect the things we believe in, especially when those things are lies. If you're wondering where I'm going, I want you to think about this. Imagine growing up, let's say in your own household, and there were things done within your household that weren't right. You might have been a child that intuitively you knew right from wrong, and yet you convinced yourself out of fear that you were going to believe what you were told. Let's say you were in a certain religion or a certain sect, and your leaders have told you certain dogmas, and yet your inside says, you know what? It doesn't seem right, but I want to stay as part of this sect. I want to be approved by these people. And your insides protect a lie, and you're fearful of exposing yourself to all of truth. Things like that happen every day and everywhere, and very few people within the human condition are free of it. So, sometimes people have been told stories, or they believe certain things that they've been told by their government leaders, by maybe venerated institutions, or by teachers when they were growing up, or managers. Sometimes they've been told things by their spouse, and yet when those lies are hidden within our souls and we're not willing to look at them, we keep ourselves in a place of fear because we're not allowing the light in there. Maybe today is a day that you want to allow truth to stand on its own. Maybe that means getting into conversations with people that are a little bit different from you. Maybe it means hearing another part of a story that you never learned before. Maybe it's getting a new perspective. Maybe it's exposing some things that you weren't willing to address with yourself in those quiet moments. I'm going to do something different today. I'd like to offer you a free copy of one of my books from my Art of Happiness series. The book is entitled Values, and it's all about truth. I think that there'll be something in it of a different nature that will help you step out of maybe some of the fears and the fearful places you've been in, and to step into the light and the place where you can allow all brightness to maybe shed their light or their rays into places that maybe you had behind closed doors. But the goal behind it all is that you may live in a place where the clouds of dissonance, the darkness of lies or untruths or maybe partial truths are able to step out of the way, and that what you might be able to do is absorb a little bit more light, a little bit more love, and a little bit more happiness on your path to living happy from the inside out. I hope you write to me, Maura at Maura4u.com. In the subject header, write, please send me the book on values or the book on truth, and it will be my delight to send it to you. Also, I hope if you've enjoyed this podcast that you'll take a moment and that you will subscribe and then also rate and review this podcast so that others who are looking for more truth and more peace in their lives will be able to find us a little bit more easily. But hold on, because there's someone else before we close that wants to share with us what makes them happy from the inside out too. This has been Maura with Maura for You.
Hey, this is Mark Patterson, and I am talking to you from Hermosa Beach, California, originally from Seattle, Washington. And you know what makes me happy? Being in the mountains, Mountain Mark. I love being up there. You turn off all the electronic machines that you have, no phone, no texting, no computer, and you just get completely clear and at peace, full of joy with where you are and where you want to go. You get super clear. Okay? So that's what makes me happy. And if you want to get super happy, you can listen to my podcast called Finding Your Summit, all about overcoming adversity and finding your way in life. Love it.
For more insights on living happy from the inside out, subscribe to this podcast. To learn more about Maura, visit her Maura4u.com website, where you'll find videos, blogs, books, and the Foundations of Happiness self-study e-course. Maura4u.com, where Maura is always for you.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Maura. Thank you very much, Maura, for another amazing episode. And I hope you guys learned something from it. I just want to say a big thank you for all of you out there for downloading the episode. You know, you're putting time in your self-education, in your self-improvement, and you know what? Congratulations. Not many people do that. Not many people do that. I have a question for you. Are you looking to improve the quality of your life? Are you looking to drastically improve the quality of your life? Well, I am giving away for a limited time my free report, How to Use the Magic of the Law of Attraction. That's right. In it, you will learn what is the law of attraction. You will learn how to attract. What is the thing? What is the secret? I'm sure you saw the DVD, right? On how to attract health, wealth, and empowering relationships. And you will also learn how not to use the law of attraction and more. Look, it's free of charge. Nothing. It costs you nothing. And it is here for a limited time only. Go to frederickby.com/purpose. That's Frederick with a C, by like bye-bye.com/purpose. How to use the magic of the law of attraction. This is empowering. This is fun. This is exciting. And it's all about your self-improvement.